3 people sat in a parked car facing your door. 1 prayed, 1 filmed, 1 lied. Close your curtains and open your discernment. Archangel Michael says, close your curtains and open your discernment because 3 shadows have taken a seat in front of your life. The engine rests silent and their windows reflect your doorway like a mirror that wants to swallow light. 1 prayed, 1 filmed, 1 lied, and each of them believed they could rewrite your tomorrow. A hush sits on the street like folded cloth, careful and heavy. The air carries a pause that pretends to be ordinary while it waits to see your reaction. The plan is simple for them and dangerous for you. The one who prayed did not come with peace, only with performance. Their lips moved to bait your trust and dress the trap in soft fabric. They want your mercy to unlock your guard and offer a clean path for the recording to walk through. The one who filmed came to harvest your breath. A lens hides behind a dashboard, bright as a patient eye that never sleeps. Every twitch of your curtain becomes a timestamp that they can replay to prove a story that never existed. The one who lied rehearsed lines during the ride, polishing each word until it sounded like a doorbell. They practiced how to say your name like a friend and how to hold a silence that lures you closer. Their lie is a key made of sugar that melts once you taste it. Close your curtains and step back from the window by 3 slow paces. Let the light inside rest like a lantern behind your ribs and not on your face. The less they see, the less they can twist. You are not powerless in this moment and you are not alone in this room. A stillness stands with you that sharpens sight and steadies breath. Presence is your shield and patience is your doorway. Archangel Michael says, listen to the low hum of intention that vibrates under their silence. The world outside moves with a rhythm and that rhythm just stuttered in front of your home. When rhythm stutters like this, truth is trying to speak through the pause. The one who prayed carries a script that begins with concern and ends with control. They aim to draw a storyline that paints you as someone who needed rescuing and then refused the rescuer. That story would make you look cruel to people who never met you. The one who filmed does not want reality, only material. They want a clip without context and a frame without soul so that outrage can be fed again and again. Hunger like that never admits it is hunger. The one who lied plans to ring and step back with a lower gaze. They will say a name, a place, a date that sounds familiar enough to keep you standing there. They hope your heart answers their script while your head stands in the hallway. Do not open the door to performance. Do not open your voice to a narrative that does not honor your center. Your silence is not surrender and your stillness is not fear. Step into the room with the fewest mirrors and the clearest corners. Let your hand find a notebook or the Notes app and write the time, the color of the car, and the shape of the waiting. Write so the moment knows it cannot erase itself. Now name what you sense without decoration. Name the curve of unease near your left shoulder and the pressure around your throat that rises when you think about the porch. Naming keeps your breath from being stolen by someone else's label. Archangel Michael says, breathe like you are counting a slow tide. Inhale the truth that you already know, and exhale any thought that says you owe a stranger access to your threshold. Boundaries are bridges that only lower for trustworthy feet. The one who prayed thinks compassion means compliance. The one who filmed thinks visibility means consent. The one who lied thinks hesitation means guilt. Compassion is wisdom with a spine. Visibility is a choice made by the soul that inhabits the body. Hesitation is the language of discernment when the air loses its pattern. You can let the door remain closed while your inner door swings open. You can keep the curtains drawn while your attention brightens like a clean blade. You can be kind without being captured. Look down the corridor of memory where similar scenes tried to play. Remember the time a voice pressed urgency against you and turned red when you asked for time. Remember the promises that tasted metallic after they settled. Those memories are not bricks in the way but signs by the road. Each sign names the pattern that returns dressed in new colors. Patterns repeat until they learn they are recognized. The one who prayed will grow impatient soon. The one who filmed will shift to find a better angle and capture the impatience. The one who lied will begin to add tears that can be summoned on demand. None of that requires you to participate. Their theater can collapse without an audience. Your absence is the hinge that lets the stage fall on itself. If a message reaches your phone while they wait, let it rest. If a knock trembles on the wood, let it breathe and then fade. If your name travels through the slot of the door in a whisper, let it pass by like wind traveling through a fence. You are allowed to verify before you engage. You are allowed to request written details from known channels that carry accountability. You are allowed to invite a witness who knows your real name and not the name these three invented for you. Call someone who stands in your life with clean hands. Send a short line with the time and the view you noticed, and the car that watches your house like a borrowed eye. Bring another voice into the room so the air can divide truth from performance. Turn on a lamp in the back of the house and let the front remain dim. Walk through each room like you are stewarding a small chapel and collecting candles for safekeeping. Light travels best when it chooses where to be seen. The one who prayed will try a final time with a firm tone. They will name goodness as a weapon and say refusal is a stain you carry forever. They do not have the right to define the word goodness in your house. The one who filmed will mark the time and send a message to someone waiting. They will measure how long you withheld your reaction and then frame it as cruelty. They do not have the right to define the word reaction for your life. The one who lied will reach for a new lie that contradicts the first. They will change the reason for being there and hope you never notice the switch. You notice because your breath belongs to you. Archangel Michael says, "You have done the sacred work of remaining." Remaining kept your image from theft and your spirit from entanglement. Remaining taught the scene that your threshold is not a stage. Discernment opens like a lens that sees three deeper layers. Under prayer you saw pressure and performance. Under filming you saw exploitation and hunger. Under lying you saw a small heart using a large mask. Masks can be loud but they are still masks. Your quiet unmasked the room. Now gather your center like folded fabric in both hands. Let your back straighten until it feels like the line your life has been drawing since it first learned to stand. Feel how your mind cools when you choose as a keeper rather than a performer. Write a single sentence that names your boundary for the next 7 days. Write how you will verify unexpected visits before you engage. Write how your home is a sanctuary and not a spectacle. If you need to speak, prepare one line and set it on your tongue like a seal. The line says that you will not open the door without prior arrangement and written confirmation from sources you recognize. The line says you are not a character in someone else's episode. The street will return to its usual cadence after this doorway moment. The sun will find the edge of your blinds and draw bars of light across the floor like a gentle fence. Your house will exhale and so will you. The one who prayed will feel their script bending under its own weight. The one who filmed will pack away the eye that made everything a meal. The one who lied will look at the empty footage and wonder how to explain emptiness. They will talk among themselves as the car rolls forward. They will search for reasons that blame you for their failure to capture your breath. They will not speak the true reason, which is that you chose yourself. Carry yourself to the kitchen and pour water into a clear glass. The sound of the faucet will become a small river that knows your name. Drink until your pulse accepts the new rhythm you gave it. Lay your palm flat against the wall and thank your walls for holding the space while the world outside tried to pull you into a story. Thank your quiet for remaining solid while noise reached for its crown. Thank your courage for stepping forward without needing applause. Look at the door with soft eyes and memorize the feeling of mastery. You did not need to prove kindness to strangers determined to capture you. You did not need to accept urgency that did not belong to your timeline. Welcome the message that rises now that your field is clear. It speaks in a voice that does not push, only invites, and it carries the scent of clean rain after heat. It tells you that care for self is not selfishness but stewardship. Stewardship protects your future from the teeth of momentary hunger. Stewardship keeps your name from becoming a prop. Stewardship turns boundary into blessing. If the world calls you to act later, you will act from center, not from fear. If a true need arrives, it will bring verification and humility rather than performance and pressure. If help is requested, it will honor the time and space you need to remain human. You can now open your curtains a few inches because you choose, not because you were pulled. You can. Let morning lay a gentle palm on your floor and not be worried about who is watching. You can return to your work with your breath wearing your name. From this day, commit to signs that align with peace rather than panic. Commit to invitations that respect the threshold of your life. Commit to eyes that look at you as a person rather than a product. The three in the car have driven into distance with their empty story. Distance will not heal their motive, but it will loosen their grip on your house. Your house resumes being a place where truth rests and grows. When dusk visits, light the lamp you love most and let its glow hang like a warm shawl over the room. Let your steps be deliberate and your voice low because care likes quiet. Let your phone remain face down while you reclaim the evening. The night will not hold fear because you did the work during the day. The night will be a teacher that does not raise its voice. The night will keep your breathing steady and your thoughts clean. You can speak now the words you wanted earlier but wisely saved. Say that you forgive yourself for the times you opened too fast. Say that you respect the person you became today. Tomorrow will bring errands and sunlight and the ordinary kind of miracle. The ordinary miracle looks like a schedule that belongs to you and a door that obeys your hand. The ordinary miracle looks like a life that is not shaped by strangers in a parked car. Your path continues and it shines with the tone you set this hour. Your discernment is a compass that does not bow to spectacle. Your heart is a garden that grows fruit invisible to those who arrive only to harvest. Keep your window of awareness open while your curtains decide when to part. Keep your feet under you while your mind travels only as far as wisdom walks. Keep your story owned by the one who lives it. The street teaches by returning to normal, and you learn by controlling what enters your threshold. Control is not hardness but clarity painted in calm strokes. Clarity breaks manipulation like glass that could not support its own lies. You will remember this day not as a scare but as a coronation. You crowned your boundaries and they bowed to greet you. You seated your breath on the throne of your chest and refused to let it be relocated. When you rest tonight, let the room feel like a harbor. Harbors are built for ships that know storms but choose anchor. Harbors do not apologize for the shore they protect. Rise tomorrow and place your hand again on the door. Feel how it listens for your choice before it moves. Know that choice is your inheritance and your daily ceremony. You have honored your life by choosing who gets near it. You have honored your name by declining a performance in which it would be misused. You have honored truth by letting it set the pace. Archangel Michael says, "This is how light learns to be strong without shouting. This is how safety learns to be soft without breaking. This is how love learns to be wise without losing warmth." The car is gone and your day belongs to you. The street hums like a faithful machine that carries every story away at the same speed. Your house stands like a quiet bell that only rings for hands that know how to touch. The three in the car believed they could choreograph your movements. They learned that you live by a rhythm older than their script. They learned that your silence is not emptiness but a power that does not need witnesses. Carry that power into the next errand and the next phone call. Carry it into the room where you create and the room where you rest. Carry it into conversations with people who see you as a person and not a project. Your discernment now holds a new edge that will not dull. Your future thanks your present for this precise act of care. Your past exhales because the cycle ended at your threshold. Let this be the chapter that reorders what access looks like. Let this be the hour that teaches your nervous system a kinder map. Let this be the turning that does not need applause to be real. Close your eyes and feel how the room answers by settling. The chair becomes a boat on still water. The ceiling becomes a sky that agrees to keep you. When you open your eyes, move with the quiet you earned. Prepare your day, prepare your work, prepare your rest. Prepare your welcome for those who arrive with truth. If anyone asks for a replay, you carry it inside with no need for spectacle. You keep the details you wrote, the time, the car, the posture, the plan. You keep what matters and let the rest unspool into forgetfulness. You remain sovereign at your own door. You chose wisdom over theater. You protected your image from theft and your soul from entanglement. The lesson stands complete and the moment dissolves the way fog leaves when the sun commits to the horizon. You claim your peace again and give chair in the center of the room. You walk forward with a steadiness that the world will learn to respect. You are the keeper of the threshold and the author of the script that follows. The next lines come from your mouth and your mouth alone. Your story moves because you move it. The street returns to being a street and the door returns to being a door. The room holds your breath like a precious instrument that plays when you say it plays. Your life continues, guarded and bright. If you wish to express your support further, you have the option to give super thanks, with contributions of up to $20. Archangel Michael says, "The house carries your new decision like a seal pressed into warm wax. The imprint holds even when the day shuffles its noise and the street forgets the car. Your boundary remains visible to the powers that notice such things. You assemble a simple protocol that lives near your door like a quiet guardian. The first piece is time, because rush is the hallway where deception walks fast. You grant yourself time as a right rather than a reward. The second piece is verification, because truth loves a trail with names. Messages travel through channels that honor identity and responsibility. You meet only what arrives with those markers in the light. The third piece is witness, because shared sight cleans the air. A trusted person stands with you when engagement becomes necessary. Two steady hearts make a circle where predation cannot stand. The fourth piece is memory, because patterns return until they are named. You keep the small log of colors, plates, and gestures as a map of the neighborhood's behavior. Maps prevent you from getting lost in familiar traps. The fifth piece is environment, because space informs the heart. Curtains, lamps, and angles become tools that serve well-being and choice. Furniture placement turns from decoration into strategy. The sixth piece is voice, because words shape thresholds. You prepare short sentences that never bend under pressure. Those sentences stand like clean pillars you can lean on anytime. The seventh piece is care, because depletion makes anyone easy to handle. Food, water, and rest keep discernment steady like a horizon that does not wobble. Care refuses to be postponed by someone else's urgency. You place these pieces in your routine until they breathe like habit. Habit makes protection efficient and sustainable. Habit frees your attention for the work that matters. Inside, a calm diligence replaces the old tremor. The tremor dissolves because you refuse the performance at your door. The calm expands because it was invited and not demanded. The car that once felt like a verdict becomes a lesson that paid for itself. Your choices bought the lesson without costing your peace. Your body understands that and thanks you in small ways. Hands relax sooner than before because they believe you. Shoulders settle into their natural line because they are not bracing for surprise. Eyes soften while staying alert because alertness is no longer panic. You move through the rooms like a friend who knows the address by heart. The kitchen offers water and the mug offers heat as an oath of friendship. The chair gives structure to your back as if it remembers the longer story. A message pings somewhere far from your doorway. You let it wait because your attention is not an emergency service for drama. Waiting becomes your quiet instrument of mastery. When you write, the page accepts the weight of the last hours. It holds the shapes of headlights and the choreography of silence. It records how you stood and how you stayed. Your words turn the strange moment into a contained chapter. Contained chapters become wisdom instead of wounds. Wisdom repeats itself gently so it can be shared. You choose how to share and with whom to share. Choice is the gate that protects sacred information. Not everyone has earned a seat at your fire. On your phone, you create a small folder marked with a clear name. The folder keeps images, notes, and times in one place. Order strengthens your position before life even asks for it. You adjust the bell on your door to a softer tone. Softer tones keep the nervous system from sprinting at every sound. Sprinting becomes running only when purpose calls. The afternoon drifts in with clean edges. Work returns to your table like a loyal bird. Words gather because the air is not crowded with surveillance. Your day becomes a sequence of chosen actions rather than reactions. Chosen actions carry a fragrance that lingers longer than noise. The fragrance smells like ownership and peace. You design a short script in case the trio or versions of it return. The script says you only respond to verified contacts and scheduled visits. The script ends with a note that further attempts at performance will be documented. Documentation speaks in a language manipulators dislike. It refuses improvisation that harms and rewards accountability that heals. It invites clarity to remain present as the only guest. You picture the three as characters whose arc bent away from your life. Their arc bends because it could not attach. To your consistency. Consistency is the quiet superhero more powerful than spectacle. You extend this consistency to your digital doors. Two-step locks and careful approvals become your routine. Your name travels only where your intention travels with it. A neighbor you trust receives a short, factual note. You share only what helps create community awareness without stirring fear. Awareness without fear becomes a steady light at the end of the street. Evening considers arriving early out of respect for your morning's work. The sky lays a slow gradient on the edge of your blinds. Lamps prepare their warm geometry to redraw the room. You walk a gentle lap through each space you tend. The lap acts like a blessing you place on objects that carry your life. Blessings shape environments more than announcements do. Your meal tastes like an agreement with your future. Agreements like that end the contracts you never signed with chaos. Chaos loses interest when it cannot find an open clause. You return to the notebook and write a single promise for tomorrow. The promise holds a boundary and a reward. The reward acknowledges courage the way a garden acknowledges rain. Your inner council meets in the quiet to review the day. The council concludes that love and wisdom can share the same voice. That voice sounds like firmness without sharpness. You imagine the doorway months from now as an instrument you play with confidence. The keys respond because they recognize your touch. The lock listens for your decision like a faithful dog. A call comes from someone who earns your trust. You answer because the circle has earned access. The conversation nourishes instead of draining. The topic turns to ordinary joys that survived extraordinary pressure. Laughter arrives without forcing an entry. The sound proves the street never stole your music. You choose a time for rest as an act of leadership. Leaders lead themselves first so they can lead their days. Sleep collects your strength and stacks it neatly for morning. Night air cools the last warm edge of the house. The roof breathes like a chest finding its rhythm. Stars hold their position like a council that keeps watch without fuss. Your threshold will greet dawn with the same calm it wore tonight. Calm will not mean passivity because wisdom moves when it must. Movement springs from intent instead of interruption. Tomorrow will offer errands that belong to your real story. Real stories are not staged by parked cars and hidden lenses. Real stories unfold in kitchens, work tables, and conversations that honor names. In the weeks ahead, you teach others how thresholds work by how you hold yours. Teaching happens without lectures because embodiment speaks clearly. People who love you learn your pace and match it with respect. The trio becomes a past tense that no longer carries heat. Past tense becomes compost for stronger roots. Roots drink what was and turn it into what will nourish. Your home begins to wear a new climate. The climate allows creativity to roam and return safely. It allows visitors with integrity to be welcomed without suspicion. You set a small sign in your mind that reads, "Presence before performance." Presence meets each minute and chooses the level of engagement. Performance loses its audience in the brightness of real attention. Your legs feel the dignity of a pace that you control. Your hands learn the ritual of opening and closing with clear intent. Your breath moves in measures that compose a steady song. Messages arrive and leave like trains that keep their schedule. You board only the ones that match your destination. You wave at the rest without regret. The street will host many stories you will never join. It will also host moments where you choose to act with clarity and compassion. Choice remains your instrument and your shelter. Archangel Michael says, "Each hour carries a doorway inside it and you hold the handle. The handle turns for truth and remains firm against theater. The metal warms in your grip because it recognizes the keeper." You learn that privacy is not secrecy when it guards the sacred. You learn that distance is not punishment when it protects the tender. You learn that silence is not emptiness when it keeps company with wisdom. From this day forward, your discernment greets events before your feet move. It asks for names, times, and accountability in a voice that never shakes. It says yes from strength and no from peace. Your story steps into the next scene with both feet steady. The floor under you agrees with your choice to belong to yourself. The walls around you agree with your choice to welcome only truth. The lamp dims with a promise to rise when morning calls. Morning will arrive as a friend invited the night before. The friend brings breakfast for your courage and tea for your focus. Your bed receives you like a vow kept. Fabric holds your weight the way truth holds your name. Sleep closes your eyes with a hand that blesses without performance. The night keeps watch while the world turns beyond your awareness. Stars mark time in a language older than this hour. Your heart keeps its measure and writes the next page in quiet ink. When morning steps in, your first breath rehearses the craft of presence. Your second breath commissions the day to align with your center. Your third breath reminds the threshold who sings here. You dress in choices that fit your purpose. You step into the hallway with a posture that is sovereign and kind. You stand at the door and feel how it waits for your command. The door opens to light because you said it could. The street returns your gaze with ordinary grace. The day bows slightly and invites you forward. Your feet cross the line with no residue from yesterday's theater. Your hands carry tools rather than defenses. Your eyes track possibilities rather than threats. You walk your route like the owner of a name well kept. The neighborhood receives you with a tone that respects clarity. Clarity becomes the currency that pays for peace. Work greets you with tasks that require your full attention. Attention arrives because it is no longer split by background noise. Productivity grows out of the soil you tended last night. Messages come that deserve your time. You reply with warmth bounded by wisdom. People feel the difference and mirror the tone. At lunch, you catch the sun on your wrist and note its gentle heat. The body remembers light that was chosen rather than forced. The memory anchors you deeper into the day. Afternoon glides to evening and the city hums like a well-tuned machine. Your pace matches the hum without being swallowed by it. Ownership remains in the way you put one foot after the other. As the week unfolds, seasons of quiet visit more frequently. Quiet does not erase responsibility because it strengthens it. The stronger the quiet, the cleaner the action. Your boundaries now speak even when you say nothing. They rearrange the choreography of rooms and roads around you. They invite alignment and discourage manipulation without a single threat. Friends comment that you seem more present. Presence becomes your reputation instead of availability. Reputation grows from choices repeated until they become character. The memory of the parked car survives as a story you tell with no tremor. The story ends with agency, not fear. The ending repeats whenever you need it because you wrote it yourself. On a gentle evening, you stand at the threshold and feel the old scene fade. Fading makes space for the new scenes you will choose. Choosing remains the bright thread you never drop. The interior of your life expands by inches that matter. Those inches add up to rooms that feel like home in a deeper way. Home thanks you by holding you without weight. Your days now harmonize with an inner metronome that prefers steadiness to spectacle. Steadiness keeps rhythm so growth can find its steps. Growth walks beside you without making a parade. Each time you pass the window, your reflection meets you with calm eyes. The eyes hold knowing earned without bitterness. The face carries softness that survived a test. This is the continuation of a life that belongs to its keeper. This is the work of a heart that chose wisdom over applause. This is the quiet victory that stays won.